Got my juice. If you can see me, please say something in the chat. Happy Friday. Happy Venus Day to everyone. Got my juice. Okay, y'all. So we're going to be talking about this inheritance in genealogy today. And I'm going to go over some stuff with you guys to make sure that you guys are doing the background work when it comes to researching this information and getting this information, because the time is now, you guys. We are in Cancer season right now. This is the energy of the ancestors, inheritance, because we know that currency is the current seed, which is basically Cancer. Cancer is a doorway, an opening, an awakening, an initiation into the current seas, into the current sea, into the money, into the wave. So you can catch this wave right now. Jupiter is in Cancer, okay? So this is like the easy flow, easy way to gain wealth, right? What is Cancer about? If you're a Cancer, you have Cancer energy in your chart. Cancer energy is about relaxing. It's a very, dare I say, well, no, actually, let me not say it's a lazy energy, because honestly, it's not a lazy energy. Cancers get to work. This is why Cancers are usually very successful in business, because Cancers do work hard. However, they like to work within the flow, and they like to go with the flow. So this isn't Capricorn where you're breaking your back for the money that you get. We are getting away from that back breaking, back bending work that the majority of the collective has been privy to, right? It's like you've been doing work that you shouldn't be having to do just to like survive and just to live, okay? So we're getting out of that, and we're getting more into the flow state is what I call it, which again is represented by Cancer, the flow state, and getting it in an easy way, right? And getting it because you deserve it, right? Because you're sovereign. And that's the only reason and the only way that you should be getting it. It shouldn't be through, working like a slave. Like those days are over, okay? So let me I got to check something really quick. Before we get into it. Okay, let me make sure that this slide is right. Oh, okay. Some of you aren't in here. So hold on. Let me see. Wait, what? What happened? Hold on, y'all. What? Something ain't clicking. Okay, I got to post another link in here because everybody's not in here. Let me repost the link. And Mercury just went retrograde today, by the way, so I'm not surprised that the technical difficulties are happening. Hold on. Oh my God, wait. Wait, what? Oh my God, I should have known. Hold on. That's what it is. It's locked on here. Okay, let me go back. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Oh, there we go, right there. My bad, y'all. Okay, now we're on. I was like wondering, I'm like, where the heck is everybody? Okay. My bad. Y'all can just skip over this pod. Okay, skip over this pod. And I'm about to post the link in here one more time. Just to be for show. Let's just post it again. Skip ahead. If you're watching the playback, just skip ahead like 5 minutes and you should be good. There we go. Oh, no price. We're not selling this. Okay. Okay, so now you guys should be coming on in again. Okay, there we go. Now you guys, it was on the wrong tier. And you guys know what? Today is the first day of Mercury retrograde. So the foolery is already starting. Okay. Clearly the foolery is starting. Mercury is retrograde. I was talking for like 10 minutes. Hi, Marcella. I was talking for like 10 minutes, y'all, like just going on and on and on. And I was like, wait, something is wrong here. I have to go back. Okay, y'all. Yeah. Mercury retrograde, 15 degrees Leo. Here we go. And what does Leo have to deal with? Being seen, right? And my Leo's in the 10th house. So there you go, right there. But we ain't gonna let it stop the show. We're not gonna let it stop it. So I just had to repost the link, so it may take a little bit. But anyways, we're going to continue where I left off. So I was talking about Happy Venus Day. I was talking about Cancer. Yeah, I was talking about Cancer being the currency and money flow and how Cancer rules over the waters. Waters is the money. That's why we have banks, water banks, and all of that. And you guys know how, like, in the Middle East, they talk about like the West Bank, like how they're fighting over the West Bank area. That's talking about the money. Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, Cancer is the currency, it's the spirituality of money, right? And since Jupiter's in Cancer right now, we are focused more on the spiritual aspects instead of like the material aspects, which Capricorn is more like the material 3D aspects, like real world ways of making money, or Cancer more so focused on the spiritual aspects and the frequency of money. But I was just basically saying, like, it's time for us to stop working hard. It's time for us to flow into our wealth and get it the easy way, like just point blank into the period, because that's what Cancer is, because Cancer is a divine feminine energy. So it's not about overexerting yourself. It's not about working too hard. It's not about burning yourself out, right? It's actually anti all of that. So it's about this Empress energy and like receiving your wealth, but you receive your wealth via your lineage. That's how you receive your true wealth, is through your lineage, through your bloodline, because blood is also represented by water. So it's your bloodline, okay? So through your bloodline is how you get your natural inheritance, right? Your right to just exist and not have to worry about how am I going to survive. We're getting out of the survival state, right? It's time to thrive. And you can thrive just from being alive, right? It's your birthright. So, yes, right now with Jupiter and Cancer, it's about inheritance, you guys. It's about connecting with the ancestors, finding out who you really are, not who you've been told that you are, because that's the thing, that's a lie. What you've been told is not who you are. In fact, you were told that you were less than what you are, so you won't come after your inheritance. That's the whole reason why they tell you, or they tell, Black Americans that they were slaves, so that you won't even think like, oh, I might have some inheritance, or like, oh, I may belong to a royal family. They tell you that royalty is only YT people, so that you don't even go look over there. And you wouldn't dare go look in Europe for your inheritance, because you just automatically think that's white tea people and that has nothing to do with me. And that's a part of the trick, okay? Because that actually is where the inheritance is. That is where the money is with the European royalty. That's where the money is. So they don't want you looking over there, because they know once you figure it out and you start doing the research and you start putting them names in, and they tell you, oh, you got your last name from the slave master. Like, that's a white person's last name. They tell you that because they don't want you researching those families and researching your family and seeing, wait a damn second, this is connected to royal families. And if this last name is connected to royal families and I'm a part of this house and this family, then that means I'm owed something, right? Then that's when it starts clicking. You start putting it together. Then that's when you really find out that you've been cheated. Like, you have been cheated. And it's because of a lack of knowledge. Like, what does it say in the Bible? My people perish because of a lack of knowledge. And that's all it is. It's because you don't know. What you don't know can hurt you and is hurting you, right? So it's about information. This is why we're in the age of information now. The information that you know can change your life, right? So that's why it's very important for you guys to start researching, but it is going to take deprogramming. You have to deprogram yourself from a lot of these lies that you were taught. You were a slave. you working for other people, you don't have no inheritance, you ain't connected to no royalty. You have to start to deprogram your mind from that so that you can start to see clearly what's going on here. Okay. So, okay, Marcella said, I just got a download from my ancestors this week that breaking generational curses and deep traumas is how they reward you, which goes into bloodline healing through cancer. Oh, I love that. No, like Marcella, I've been getting, like, they've been telling me the same thing. Like, we're getting paid in a different way now. Like, that's the revelation that I had. It's like, the universe is paying us and the ancestors are paying us because the ancestors are the cosmos. The ANSI stars. That's what it really means. The ancestors is the ANSI stars. Like they are the stars, the cosmos. So essentially we're getting paid by, now we're getting paid by like what we know, right? Age of Aquarius. Aquarius rules the cosmos. So the more that we unlock the information and the codes, the DNA codes, the more we unlock who we are, then the ancestors are going to start paying us. Exactly. So this whole idea of ancestor money has been coming up a lot for me lately. Like ancestor money is a real thing. And I don't know if you guys have ever like burned ancestor money before, but I was like really into ancestor money a few years ago. And I started burning ancestor money like to my ancestors. And baby, I was getting paid. Like I was really getting paid off of burning the ancestor money. Like that's a thing. But like, yeah, ancestor money is like a real thing. And you kind of like get paid spiritually through cracking codes, breaking generational curses, like Marcella said, and putting the pieces together. Then your ancestors will start to reward you. You know, they'll start giving you stuff, giving you part of your treasury, your inheritance, right? Your treasury. Why? Because treasury has to deal with the waters. So you guys know how the waters, where they have these treasure chests that exist in the waters, right? And it's like this chest filled gold that's buried like underneath the ocean, and these people go scuba diving and then they come across this treasure hidden in the water, right? So that's your treasury, right? So it's kind of like your treasury is like hidden in your subconscious mind, and the deeper that you go and the more you figure out, that's how you gain access to your treasury, your ancestral treasury. Okay. So now we're going into like a whole new paradigm. It's like, you know, the people that are going to be wealthy are going to be the people that are in the know. And the people that are ignorant, they're going to be the ones that are poor, right? So that's this whole Age of Aquarius thing. Yeah, Asia, burn some ancestor money. And I'm going to do the same as well, because now we know so much more about the ancestors now. So we can start getting like really intentional with it. And this is why you need to study your genealogy, y'all, because it's like, since I've been connecting with my genealogy, like finding my grandparents' names, my great grandparents, and just even becoming aware of them, like just becoming aware of like their first and last name, the dates that they were born. And like the dates that they were born, you guys know, if you're into astrology, if you're into cardology, you can find out a lot about them just by knowing what day they were born, right? You do their numerology, you adding it up, you're like, oh, this is why I have this energy. I get it from this ancestor. Like this was passed down to me. Because inheritance is not only just like physical things. Like inheritance is you inherit certain traits and noble titles and noble abilities. You get your nobility from certain ancestors. And so that's what puts you, ancestry is like a hierarchy, right? It's ran just like a corporation. So corporations truly get their structure from the ancestors. So So you have certain people that are in charge, right? You have like managers, and you move up to being a supervisor, you move up to be the CEO of the company, and like you're kind of getting promoted by your ancestors. So some of us have higher rank within our bloodlines, depending upon what ancestor that we're connected to. So basically, it's like if you share the same like energy as a certain ancestor that has like a lot of rank or that's high up in the hierarchy, you are somebody that has more authority in your family, because families are about authority, right? And you have people that are above you and you have people that are under you, right? So when it comes to inheritance, and this goes into royalty and like nobility and stuff like that, because what makes you like a king or a queen and things like that is what you inherit from your ancestors. So like a king or a queen is someone that inherits like all of the bomb traits from the ancestors. Like the ancestors was just throwing money on you. Like they was just going in when they was creating you. Like they gave you all the good traits. Like you got all the bomb traits of all the ancestors, right? And that's why you are royalty. That's why you will inherit like a certain noble title, because of what the ancestors passed down to you, right? And this is indicated by the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of inheritance, right? But a lot of people just look at it as like money inheritance, but it's more like hereditary inheritance in certain spiritual powers that you inherit from your ancestors, right? So it's really deep. What? Marcella, you did the floor ritual and they $1,000 from people on your birthday, right? Because the reason why you're receiving things is because you're following the guidance of what they want you to do. Exactly. Like when you listen to your ancestors, they're going to take care of you. They're going to take care of you. Okay. Ev Beauty says, I burn ancestor money to help with healing the trauma within my bloodline. You burn it every day. That's good. That's good. Because the ancestors, like I really realize the ancestors is who gives you money. Like, why do you think that we have dead people on our money, right? So you guys know when I did the London reading, I was talking about the money. Remember, you guys, this was like 4 years ago. I was like, the money's changing. The money's changing. Like England has like the power over time and money, right? Remember when I told you guys that they have the living monarch on their money? The living monarch. We have in America dead presidents on our money. In England, they have the living monarch. So their money's not dead. Our money is dead. Their money is alive. Okay? Because they're in the land of the living. That's the kingdom. This is why I've been focusing so much on the UK and focusing so much on Europe, because money operates different over there. Like that kind of is the source of the money. It's like over in the UK, that's the source of the money right there. So a lot of people are trying to go to like the United States. Like the United States ain't got no money to give you. Like they ain't got nothing. They do not have nothing. They are dependent upon the crown is where all the money's coming from. It's coming from the crown, which also represents the crown chakra. Okay, so it's a spiritual energy, it's a spiritual dimension, right? Which is why they rule over time. So it's a lot to unpack, you guys. Like it's so much, right? But then I do feel like the American money, because it is dead presidents on our money, it has something to deal with like ancestral money. Like, I don't know, there's some type of connection with that as well. Hi, Diane. I'm glad you made it. What? Marcella, randomly from people you haven't heard from in years? Yeah, that happened to me too. Like one of my ex-boyfriends from like 15 years ago hit me up, like sent me an email out of the blue. And I had never even thought I was going to hear from him again. So I thought that was weird. Oh, all debt isn't bad. Marcella, you're going to have to explain. Like, what do you mean? And you guys know how debt sounds like death too. So debt, death, the eighth house, money is tied in with death, like, which is the ancestors. Yeah, the money is tied in with our ancestors. So it's our ancestors that are holding the money back from us. If we're not getting the full payment, and the reason why they're holding the money back from us is because we haven't been researching our lineage. We haven't been trying to find out who we are. So it's ignorance. Like the ancestors are like, I'm not going to award you for being ignorant. Like you need to figure out who you are so you can understand who we are. And so then you can start operating in your true sovereignty. Then that's when you're going to get all this money. If you guys have been wondering why, like, it's just like, why is it so hard to become rich, right? It's a spiritual basis behind it. And I believe that the ancestors are the ones that are truly in charge of giving us that inheritance and giving us that money. Because they want us to do the work. Like I said in the last slide, they don't reward being lazy. You guys know in Black families, you got to clean that house up. You got to cook clean. You got to keep that house clean. They're very strict. I went through a whole initiation like earlier this year, like Saturn and Pisces. Saturn and Pisces is literally the ancestors, like telling you what you need to do. They want you to keep this house clean. They told me that specifically. They're like, we're not going to give you any money if this house like isn't cleaned up. You need to keep this house clean. Like they don't play. They don't play at all. Like they have requirements that you have to do. It's just like when you were growing up and you had chores that you had to do. You got to, you know, keep up with your hygiene. You got to keep yourself in order, and then they will reward you, right? Okay, Marcella said you can leverage debt to build wealth, which is basically our financial system in a nutshell. Right, because isn't the whole thing like in US just based off of debt? Y'all and nah, you guys, I've been dealing with the Bank of London and the Bank of England. They take it to an even higher level, you guys. Like okay, let me look up this paperwork for you guys because I got some paperwork for you guys with this. The debt, they built their whole system is based off of debt. It can't exist without debt, right? Which ties in with us, right? Because we're the collateral. Like we're the literal collateral, the living collateral for the financial system, right? Marcella said, they don't play. I deep cleaned my house and got rid of my old clothes, and that's how I manifested that birthday money. Exact, Marcella. Like you're really spitting game right now to the people because like dead ass, that's how it works. If you find that you're coming against a brick wall and like the currency isn't flowing in your life, because that's all it is the currency, the waters. If the waters are not flowing in your life, that's because they're dammed up. Like there's a dam that's holding back the waters. And keep game about the floods that have been happening in America, you guys. That's why I said the money's coming. The money's coming because all these cities started flooding, right? So what is that? The flooding, the water, the currency. It's coming in. But if you notice that your money's jammed up and it's not flowing in your life, because it should constantly be a back and forth wave motion, which is Cancer, right? Cancer rolls over the tides. People aren't paying enough attention to Cancer and the moon and how the moon controls the tides, right? So it's a back and forth money. It's coming in, it's going out. It's coming in, it's going out. You got to pay these people and then you get some more to replace it. Then you got to pay these people and you get more, but it's supposed to increase each time that you receive, right? And then you put a little bit away. You save a little bit of it, then you give a little bit back out, but it should always be coming in to replenish, right? Because that's what the wave of the water is replenishment. So if you spend it you should be getting it back, and you should be getting back more of it. That's how you know when you're starting to master the waters, which is what Aquarius is. Aquarius is when you are the master of the waters, like you're the master of all three water signs, right? So that's when you're the master of money, which is why Aquarius rules billionaires. Okay, so that's the big money right there. Big money, big gains, right? So you become the master of the waters when you get to Aquarius, right? Because that's when you got it flowing over here, you got it flowing here, you got it flowing here, you got your river banks. Everything is balanced, everything is coming in and going out. Beautiful, right? It's like a symphony. That's what we're trying to reach. Aquarius said, I have Pisces in the 10th house and Cap in the 8th. Cap in the 8th, girl, that's ancestor money. With Neptune there natally, and Neptune in the 8th, ancestor money. I can confirm the ancestors placement. Girl, yes. And Pisces in the 10th, that's the ancestor money. So a lot of people in here have 8th house placements. That's not a coincidence, because that really is the ancestor money right there, the 8th house, okay? So it's like you got to give a little to get a little, okay? So let me try to look for this, because I've been researching the financial system in England, and I had found some really, really deep stuff. Let me see if I can find it, because I took so much. Let me see if I can get it. So yeah, you guys, I'm glad that we're talking about like the spiritual side of money, because that's the whole reason why like I created this diamond tier, you guys, because this is what's really important, like what we're talking about right now. And you guys see how quick the money system is changing right now. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that video. There was a video that the White House had posted. I forgot what platform it was, but they had posted a video of the White House, and there's like money coming all out of the White House and talking about make it rain. That song, that Lil Wayne song, I make it rain on these hoes, I make it rain. I make it rain on these hoes. Like, and there was money all flying outside the White House. And I was like, this is so damn ghetto. But I was like, it's real though, because we've been having these floods, and it's been like a lot of rain and stuff like that. And rain also is like, that's why we say you make it rain on somebody, right? This is dealing with fertility, and then the floods, and then the currency. So the money is coming, okay? The ancestors are trying to let us know that they're coming and the money's coming, because when the ancestors come, the money comes. It's the same thing. Money and the ancestors, pretty much the same thing. Okay, so they're on their way right now. And so then they're talking about like August 1st, something's supposed to be happening on August 1st. Trump, we know that Trump likes to run his mouth, but he's talking about, oh, you're going to be so rich, you're not going to know what to do with it. But I think that Trump is like talking in symbols. Like, I think it's symbolic what he's talking about. Like when he says, you know, he keeps making these promises. You're going to be so rich, you have so much money, you're not going to know where to spend it all. Right? He's been saying this all year. Girl, the White House, yeah, they had eagles flying around and money just busting out the White House. I was like, what the hell? And I'll make it rain on these hoes. I was like, this is so ghetto. But I was like, this is true though. This is actually true. So yeah, y'all, each person, each citizen has a treasury, guys. Treasury, okay? Start getting into that word, treasury. In fact, let's look this up. Let's look up. Okay, treasury is the funds or revenue of a government, corporation, or institution. A place or building where treasure is stored. Treasure. Remember what I said about treasure being at the bottom of the sea, right? You got a deep sea dive so you can find the treasure when you go on a treasure hunt. That is what we are doing right now. That's what this is. I should have called this the treasure hunt live. We are going on a treasure hunt. And what happens when you go on a treasure hunt? You're looking for clues, right? You're looking for clues because the ancestors leave you clues. And like, that's another thing that I noticed about the ancestors too. Like, the ancestors are kind of funny because like they like to kind of play games with you and shit. Like, the ancestors love to play games. They love to like leave you little clues and like, but they want you to figure it out. It's like a game, you guys. It's literally like a game. It's a treasure hunt. So that's why I said we're going to go on family search today. We're going to go on family search, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about, how you can find your ancestors, your royalty ancestors, just from typing their name in on family search. Yes, I'm going to show you guys. But, okay, treasury. Okay, a place or location where treasures such as currency or precious items are kept. These can be state or royal property, church treasure, or in private ownership. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen with you guys real quick because we're going to go over this right now. We're going to go over this. Is this where I share the screen at? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, so treasury. Okay, a treasury is either a government department related to finance and taxation, a financial ministry in a business context, or a corporate treasury. A place or location where treasure, such as currency or precious items, are kept. These can be estate or royal property, church treasure, or private ownership. The head of a treasury is typically known as a treasurer. The position may not necessarily have the final control over the action of the treasury, particularly if they are not an elected representative. That's another thing, you guys. We are the ones that elect these people. So there's somebody that's operating right now as owner, or they're operating in control of your treasury right now. There's somebody that is operating in that position, that is in charge of your treasury. But they got elected to that position until they're not elected anymore. And you would have to be the one to take them out of that appointment. Because all of this stuff has been happening behind your back, you guys. Like, people don't even know about this stuff. Like, they don't even know about the structure and like how this stuff works with, you know, somebody being in charge of your treasury and stuff like that. Because when you are an heir to a throne or like a royal house, you have all these people that are put into these positions to like be over your estate and stuff like that, because you are in a sleep state, basically, which is a state of unawareness of who you are. So while you are sleeping and unaware of who you are, people are appointed to be in charge of your estate. So when you wake up and you realize who you are and you come back into your sovereignty, that's when you can start fucking firing people and being like, okay, no, I don't need you no more. I'm awake. I'm aware. Now I need my treasury. I need to have full control over my own treasury because I'm an adult now, right? So we'll get into that. But let's look up what treasure is. A treasure is a concentration of wealth, often originating from ancient history. Look, that is considered lost and or forgotten until rediscovered. Hello, everything that I just said to you guys, everything that I just said. Some jurisdictions legally define and constitute treasure, such as the British Treasury Act. Now, what did I just tell you guys that I've been doing? That I've been on that British monarchy, honey. I've been in Great Britain, baby, because I said, what? That's where the money at. That's where the money at, okay? British Treasury Act, 1996. Baby, when I tell you all this stuff dealing with parliament and all that, baby, when I tell you that's where all the answers are at. All the answers is right here. Okay, you got to start getting into the UK. If you ain't getting into the UK, you ain't rolling in the money yet. Okay, so anyway, so look, it's considered lost and or forgotten. So what did I say, you guys, about the awareness, not being aware of who you are? So you don't even know you already have all this stuff. You got a treasury already, ready to go, baby, ready to go. You just need to get that paperwork. That's it. Okay, so then it says the phrase blood and treasure has been used to refer to the human and monetary costs associated with massive endeavors such as war that expend both. And what was all these rumors of wars that's going on? And what did I say about the West Bank, you guys? What did I say earlier in the live about the West Bank? Have they not been fighting over in the Middle East over this West Bank? What West Bank are they talking about? Right? This is the type of stuff that ignites wars. We just had a war. You know, they were talking about we was getting ready to go to war. What did they say? They said war and money go hand in hand. Whenever they're talking about going to war, there's money involved. Okay? Searching for hidden treasure is a common theme in legend. Treasure hunters do exist and can seek lost wealth for a living. True Brilliance job right now. I got a new job title. Yes, for a living, seeking lost wealth. Okay, boom shakalaka. That's what I'm here to do. Buried treasure is an important part of popular mythos surrounding pirates. Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. That's another thing. The Caribbean has a lot of what? Lost treasure. Put two and two together. What did I tell you guys about the Caribbean? The Caribbean is Neptune. Is it making sense? Is it making sense? Pirates of the Caribbean. So they stole a lot of wealth from the Caribbean, right? We know too, in Europe, from Europe, they came to the Caribbean looking for lost treasure, looking for gold, right? According to popular conception, pirates often buried their stolen fortunes in remote places, intending to return for them later. And look, we got treasure maps. We got treasure maps, y'all. Mines. Look at this. It's all right here. A treasure map is a map that marks the location of buried treasure, a lost mine, a valuable secret, or a hidden locale. Most common in fiction than in reality, pirate treasure maps are often depicted in works of fiction as hand-drawn and containing arcane clues. What did I tell you? The ancestors leave clues for the characters to follow. That's us. Regardless of the term's literary use, anything that meets the broad definition of a map that describes the location of a treasure could appropriately be called a treasure map. And look, they got copper scrolls. Look, Dead Sea Scrolls. Dead Sea Scrolls. That's talking about the currency. Copper scrolls. What do they call Americans? The copper colored people. I mean, I can go on all day, y'all. Oh, El Dorado. They were talking about this on TikTok. I got to research this. Okay, so I'm going to research that treasure map. I haven't looked at that before. But look into this, you guys. Start looking into like all this stuff. Read up on all this stuff. Okay. Marcella, we got to catch the plays. Exactly. Okay, so let me go back. Trump definitely speaks in code. Yes, he does. Marcella, we got to catch the plays. Asia, I love that. Yes, this is a treasure hunt. Aquarius, it's giving Ready Player One. I know. Ain't it though? Ain't it giving Ready Player One? Okay, let me see. Burial. Look, and we were just talking about the ancestor. Burial, a buried treasure. So this is quite literally talking about our ancestors. Our ancestors are the treasure that we are looking for. They are buried treasure, right? And these pirates, what do? They come and they rob graves. Like, I don't know if you guys know about this, but this is actually something that has been going on even in like Hollywood and things like that. They literally, people have been robbing graves of like people's ancestors and trying to get access to their corpses and stuff like that so they can use it in magic. People really do this because it's connected to money, you guys. The dead is connected to money. I always say this. This is why Scorpio, Taurus, right? They are connected. The 8th house, the 2nd house, right? So people do this. They want to gain access to the dead. They want to gain access to your ancestors. Do you guys know that record companies, you guys know how you hear about record companies in the music industry? Do you know what the record company stands for? The Akashic Records. Akashic Records. So they basically are time travelers, basically, and they channel from your Akashic records and ancestry, right, in order to tap in with different past timelines and things like that, right? And so this is how they make movies, and this is how they get the inspiration for songs and things like that, is from tapping into the Akashic records. Right? Because a lot of people do descend from royalty, and royalty are basically people that are extremely talented, right? They can like do all things. They can sing, they can dance, they're good at sports, they're good at everything, right? That's basically what royalty is. And so they want to gain access to those powers. Yeah, Marcella, that's deep and bad karma, very bad karma. Very bad karma, because they don't have the permission to do that. But somehow, some way, they get convinced, and I don't know how, they get convinced that it's okay for them to do it. Or it just may be out of desperation, like they're just that desperate for money that they're willing to risk it. Because essentially, a lot of these, celebs, and the reason why they're having such bad karma right now is because they've stolen inheritance from real royals, right? Like that's how they got the money that they have. It's from stolen inheritance. It's not worth it. Exactly. It's not worth what comes behind it, right? It's not worth it. So, okay, you guys. So treasury, we know the treasury. Okay, so let's go back. Okay. Treasury, let me see. The First Lord. The First Lord of the Treasury is the head of the Lord Commissioner of the Treasury, exercising the ancient office of Treasurer of Esquire in the United Kingdom. Office of First Lord is held by the Prime Minister. The office is not the United Kingdom's finance minister. And what I find interesting is how they use minister a lot, like with their royal titles, like minister. Look at this, Ministry of Finance. Ministry, like that's usually something that has to deal with the church. A ministry of finance is a ministry or other government agency in charge of government finance, fiscal policy, and financial regulation. It is headed by a finance minister, an executive or cabinet position. A ministry of finance's portfolio has a large variety of names around the world, such as treasury, finance, financial affairs, economy, and economic affairs. The position of the finance minister might be named for this portfolio, but it may also have some other name like treasurer, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Monetary policy, often found in government, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no, this wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for something else. We're a treasure. And I also find it interesting. They have something called wigs in in the UK. They have a political party called Wigs. And like this is where it comes from. You know how they used to wear the wigs, you guys, like the gray wigs or whatever? Yeah, because they're like a political group called the Wigs and they wear wigs. So I find that interesting. Like, and they have a whole thing called wigism where they wear wigs. And you know how they always talk about Black women and wearing wigs and stuff like that. This goes back into ancient time, the wigs. And they were actually seen as like, this is a high political office, the wigs. And you know how they have big wigs, how they say, oh, he's a big wig. Yeah, y'all, everything comes from somewhere. Everything comes from somewhere. And they try to turn a lot of things bad so that you don't, again, so that you don't associate with the royalty. You know what I mean? So they try to tell you, oh, it's bad. Where really it's not. Okay. So Stewart restoration, supremacy of parliament, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So basically, I just wanted to show you guys that, like specifically about the treasury, because I think that that's like really, really important, like speaking to, again, where we're at right now with like dealing with all this water energy. Jupiter in Cancer, it's gonna be there for a whole year, you guys. So this energy around the waters is here. We're seeing it with the floods. We're seeing it. So the currency, like I keep saying, the currency is on its way, especially with Jupiter in Cancer. So we have to prepare ourselves. How do we prepare ourselves? By doing our genealogy, right? Genealogy comes from Genesis. Okay, so genealogy, Genesis, we know Genesis is the first chapter in the Bible. So that's speaking about your genealogy and your origins. Okay, so have you guys done any research? Have you guys done any research on Family Search? And let me know also, does anybody want me to research their last name for them as an example? Because I can do a little demonstration, or we can just pick like a random name or something like that and we can research that. And I can kind of show you guys what to do. Let me know. Him, Phil. Oh, I've never heard of that one. Okay, let's see. All right, let's get on Family Search. And keep in mind, you guys, this is the thing about Family Search. Family Search is a Mormon website, or is it the Latter-day Saints? I think it might be the Latter-day Saints. And so it's a church organization, and they have all of our records, you guys. Like they have access to all of our records. So I find that interesting because a lot of people, I don't know if you guys have looked into the Book of Mormon and like all those books in there, but they have a lot of our genealogy, like the majority of our genealogy. Okay, so all right, let's go to search. And we're gonna go to search records. Okay. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, here we'll start with, who was the first person? Oh, y'all got names, huh? Okay, Hempfield, okay. Okay, Hempfield, do you know the first name, the place of birth, or the year that they were born? The more detailed, the better. or just that last name? Oh, okay, that's your granny's last name. Hemphill. Because we can look up the last name, like, okay, let me see. Let me just see what happens when I look up the last name. Okay. Look. See. Okay. Let me show you guys something real quick. Let me share it with you guys real quick. Let me share this. Now, I don't have the first name, so it's like I can't say for certain. However, I do want to show you guys something. Like let me give you guys some tips. Okay, boom. So I just put in the last name. So this is very, very generalized, right? Okay, boom. So we have like somebody named Jean Lai Hemphill in Texas, right? And these are the parents. But boom, you see this right here, immigration from 1906 to 1942. These immigration records are very, very important because a lot of the times with the immigration records, it'll show you that for the most part, they always come to New York first. That's where they come. But it'll show you like the ship. It'll show you the ship name that they came in on. And usually they come from like the UK or, you know, somewhere in Europe or something like that. So yeah, they have like passenger lists, like for the boat that they came in on, Scandinavian, Spanish, French. They came to New York to New York, and like this is the event date, and then it has like the name of like everybody that was on that ship. Okay, so this is a migration records. Okay, so this is very important too. So that's something that you want to be aware of. Miriam, Columbia. Look, we got Columbia on here. Hemphill. And then it's just like if you just generally want to know like what this last name, like where this last name is, like around the world, it'll like show you different people. Like Canada, like this must be a last name that's very popular in Canada. There's a lot going on in Canada with this last name. Oh yeah, okay, so the family search comes from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you guys. So these are like basically spiritual records or religious like records, you guys. So these are like the real deal right here. Okay. Oh, her name. Okay, you got her first name. Okay, let's go back then. Did I spell it right? That's a really unique last name. I've never heard of that last name. Okay, Judith Hemphill, Missouri, December 1944. Judy Hemphill. Let's see, how many Judith? Judith Hemphill. Sometimes they do spell the last name wrong too. So keep that in mind. Don't let that deter you because there will be a lot of things that'll like deter you. Like if the last name isn't exactly right. But you got to think like broad-minded with this. Like think ninth house instead of third house. Like think in a broader context. Sometimes they spell the names wrong, you know, things like that. So you got to look for other clues to like match it up, especially like around the date that they were born or the year they were born. That would like narrow it down a lot more. Judith Lee. So here's one, Los Angeles, California. But let's see, 1943. Like, I'm not sure how old she is. Judith. Here's another one, Los Angeles. And I know you have like ties to California. So this may be something. Judith Hemphill, look, Los Angeles again. So Los Angeles, but it's 1942. So I don't know how old your grandma is, but if she was born around that time, that could be something. Marshalltown, Judith Hemphill, New Hampshire, North Carolina. See, it's not going to be these. Well, I don't know, because did she pass away? Hemphill, 2019, Iowa. So there's a couple for Iowa as well. So the year that she was born would be important. Oh, in LA? Oh, well, then that was her then. That was her. Yeah. And then like girl, when you go into their record, like you can find like all types of information too, because the Church of the Latter-day Saints, like they're very good at like keeping like, okay, watch this one. Let me see. Oops. No. So boom, like they'll have like the mother right here. Then you can click that mother's name. Usually they'll have the father's name too, but this one they just have the mother's name. Then they give you where they got it from, the record, California Birth Index. Right here, they cite the numbers. The entry is the citation. And then there's another possible tree match here. So you can go here. So she's already in somebody else's tree. Walnut Creek, Contra, Costa Rica, California. So you can go here, boom. If you click on the tree, you can see whose tree that she's in. So she's already like in somebody's tree. And then like it brings up like other people, or this one is just one person. And you can see like who they're connected to and all of that. So yeah. Oh, you can't see? Wait, what can't you see? Oh, it went into another. Oh, my bad. Okay, hold on. Here. This is what I was trying to show you. So yeah, I was saying like here, how they're saying like the mother's name for her. And then right over here, it says California Birth Index, Family Search, entry for Judith. Is a citation here. Where they got the information from, like the California Birth Index, you can click that. Oops, I didn't mean to click it, but. Oh yeah, you can, like Marcella, you can just search California records by itself too. Like if you want to narrow it down, you can just search California records from 1905 to 1955 as well, and that'll get like even more specific. So yeah, and then right here, I was just saying that she's in somebody's tree already. So she's in somebody's tree, and this says that she died in 2015, Walnut Creek, California. And then she's connected to somebody's tree already. So and so yeah, like there's so much that you can get from this. Yeah, and look, here's another one, Judith Brenda Hemphill, California Birth Index. And see, it gives you like all this information. Boom. Then it tells you like parents, siblings, all that stuff. Okay. Okay, so here, I'll look up somebody else's. Okay, let's see. Matson. Okay, what's the first name? for Matson. Grigor, first name, Big. Colvin. Okay, you guys, give me first and last. And if you know their place of birth, that'll really show me. Hi, Amika. How you doing? Yeah, the tree. Yeah, you got to go to the tree because that's how you'll like really discover. Like for me, I've gone back, I think I've gotten to the 1700s is like as far back as I've gone. But I've definitely went like in the 1800s and stuff like that. And then you go back even deeper. And like most of my ancestors had their own farms and stuff like that. So like they owned their own farms and like had their own land and stuff. Bertha. Oh wait, John Clifford Biggs. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay, let's see. Look, military draft registration, straight off the bat, fought in World War II. But birth is July 14th, 1895. Illinois, Lincoln, Illinois, military draft card. And so usually with these, it'll show you their actual draft card. And so this way you can see their handwriting. And then usually what they have on there is like the person that will always know my address. And I just think that that is so sweet because it'll usually have their wife's name on there, like the person, because they have like a space on there that says the person that'll always know your address. Like here it is right here. I'll show you guys. So if any of your ancestors were ever in the military, and I think that this is going to be important, you guys, in the future, like our ancestors that fought in the military, especially if they fought in a war, because a lot of my ancestors fought in wars. And yeah, y'all owe me money for that too. That's another thing you guys owe me money for. If my ancestors fought in like World War II and stuff like that, you're gonna want to keep these records. Okay, that's very important. And look, so yeah, like so you see here it says name and address of person who will always know your address. Miss Kitty Biggs, and then they put their address. And so like, yeah, you can like see their handwriting and stuff, and then they have like their date of birth, and this is the military registration cards and stuff, and then it has like their address. And so like I go and I look up their address. Like you guys, I do not play. I go and I look up their address, and then like usually when I go look up their address, I find all types of information and clues again, because again, you guys, this is a treasure hunt. This is the treasury hunt. Okay, so every single detail matters. This is where Virgo comes in. Okay, Mars is in Virgo right now. So we have to be intricate with the details, okay? So you want to look up their address of where they were living at, because like that can tell you a lot. If they have where they work at, look, place of employment. He worked at Lincoln in Logan, Illinois. Or place of employment was Lincoln. Oh, it was Lincoln, Logan, Illinois. But usually they'll have like the place that they work. Like I found out where one of my grandfathers worked. And I ended up looking up the lumber company that he worked at. And why was it looking like it was his lumber company? Like I was like, did you own this? And so I had to do research on that, because this is what you guys have to realize. A lot of what we think we know about our ancestors is like a lie. Like it's not true. A lot of our ancestors were like more prominent people than what we think and what we know. Okay, so that's why you have to go do the research yourself. That's why it's a treasure hunt. Okay. So anyways, yeah, that's the draft cards. You'll find like a lot of those from like your grandfathers, but make sure that you save your grandfather's draft cards because again, I feel like that's going to come up in the future. Okay, so when they start issuing out the treasury. So the more that your family was involved in like certain things, there's going to be a payment for each and everything. I don't care. I'm asking for payment for everything. My grandfather fought in World War II. That's a payout. World War I, that's another payout. Like, I'm not playing. Okay, so John Clifford bids. So here's something else. Wayne, Michigan, 1956. John Clifford bangs. So Illinois once again. Then he has his parents here, Levi, and then Gibbs. Remember I told you guys to make sure you're researching your grandmother's last name too, not just your grandfather's. Look, Queensland, Australia. This one's Clifford John Biggs. John Clifford Biggs. Look, Devon, England. Look, this is what I'm talking about with the UK stuff. A lot of it, and sometimes the names can be switched around. So like I said, don't necessarily think like, oh, that's not it because it's not like in the correct order, right? So this name has to deal with people in England. Okay, more military stuff. Illinois, military. So your family has military background. Okay. And so military also comes with its own royal class. And a lot of people don't know that. Military is like its own like royalty. That's why like in England, they have like the Royal Navy and the Royal Military because the military deals with royalty as well, but they're just like a different faction of royalty. Okay, and all of this is going to come out. Like, just wait, it's going to come out. That's why I said to save your military draft cards. Okay, so you're going to want to keep that information. Okay, you lived, okay, John Jolette, yeah, John Clifford, yeah, so the military, like I said, keep that information because that also has to deal with the royal stuff. Let's see, Asia, Carrie Lee Colvin. Okay, let's see. Carrie, wait, Lee Colvin. Okay, Carrie Lee Colvin, 1920, March 15th, resident, June 1st, 1999. Is she deceased or is she still alive? Alabama. And look, June 1st and June 1st. So that's interesting. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Principal, United States Public Records. Okay, so these are in the United States Public Record. Carrie Lee Colvin, Virginia. And then when they have the spouses and the children listed, that's definitely a way for you to know for sure, like if they're talking about your family, because you'll be able to see, you know, the kids and the spouse, and that'll definitely let you know, like, if it's legit or not. You get it? Carrie Lee Colvin, Colorado. Oh, no, that's Carol. Carrie Lee Colvin. Alabama again. Is she from Alabama? Or is she from the South? Carrie Lee Colvin. And then, like, you guys, when I see, like, a lot of people have their same name, I be like thinking certain things when I see that. I'm like, do they have multiple identities or something? Like, what's going on? Because y'all know me, I'm a conspiracy theorist. So I'm like, are these like multiple lives that they were living in like different places? It's like, I don't know. It'd be like a movie to me. Deceased. This is my great granny. Yes, we have land out there too. Oh, so Alabama, Asia? Is it Alabama? Carrie Lee Colvin. Okay, let's click on her. Dang, I ain't never seen this before. What the heck? Fifth residence. What? Fourth residence postal code. What? I never seen this before. Attached to a tree. Okay, this one. Okay, let me go back. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's look at this one. June 1st. Okay, so this is just her residence. Yeah, this is just a place that she lived. Miscellaneous. Yeah, so this is a miscellaneous record. Let me see. Okay, Alabama. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to Alabama. Oh, here we go. Birth 1919. And then also, like, I'm not even gonna lie, there's like a lot of codes in here too. Look, they got the latitude and the longitude, cemetery. So this would be where she's buried at. Cedar Oak Memorial Park. And then I think they'll show you the grave. Billion graves. Look, there you go right there, Asia. Billion graves, baby. Ancestor money. Billion graves. I ain't never seen this. And you know what? This is crazy because your guys' family records look a lot different from mine. So I'm wondering, because I ain't never seen this. 19. So I'm not sure if this is her or not, but yeah, you can actually see their grave site. Billion graves though, girl. You may got some billions waiting, baby. I ain't even gonna lie, because I ain't seen this cemetery before. I have not seen billion graves before. I've never seen that in my life. Girl, I'm telling you, they're leaving clues. So yeah, you would definitely want to save this. And then she's also in somebody's tree. So let's see whose tree she's in. She's in somebody's tree. Charlie. So these would be her parents. But no, because they don't have the same last name. But usually you can go to the tree, see, because when I go to the tree, it's like connected to like a bunch of people. And like usually they all have the same last name. But with them, since they have different last names, I would definitely like go into each of their records and like make sure it's legit and it's not fake. Because some people like create stuff and it's like, it's not even the correct, or they were just misled to like create it. So yeah, but that's how you can look into it. Like that's a way that you can see the headstone and stuff like that, or you can see what cemetery that they're buried at, like in case you need to like prove, in case you need to prove something to somebody. Okay. And then like there's more with Alabama. There's a lot with Alabama in this name. So obviously she's connected. It says parents, Charlie William and Lucy Davis. Louisiana. So social program correspondence, birth June 3rd, 1887, Louisiana, United States, parents. But see, these parents are different. So that's when you would have to know like which one basically is correct. Virginia, more Alabama. Now look right here. This is what be coming up on my ancestry is the precincts, you guys. Now, this is where it starts to get weird. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Like, this is where it starts to get weird. They, in the South, they have precincts and like police juries. Yes, they have things called police juries, precincts, and like it's like a bunch of police stuff and like military state stuff. And I don't know what that means. Like, I'm just like, why is like my ancestors in a police jury? Like, what is this about? Okay. Like, I don't know what it is about. Oh, you couldn't see the tree? My bad. Oh, could you see her grave? Her dad was Charlie? Oh, so that was her then. That was her. Hold on. Oh, wait, no. This is, I'm sorry. That's the other record. Okay. Here, let me put. So yeah, the precinct stuff, like if you have ancestors from the South, you may find that like it's involved with like a police jury and stuff. And that is like something in and of itself. Okay, so let me show you the tree and then I'll share. Let me show you. Oh, so this is him, girl. This is him. Can you see it? Charlie Williams and Lucy Davis. Carrie Lee Colvin. See? You can click on Charlie. And you can go to his stuff too. I think that the ancestors are all waiting for us to put this together, you guys. Like they're literally waiting for us to put it together. So here we go. Okay. So boom, this is Charlie's record. And then they have two children listed here, Minnie Lee Miller and Carrie Lee Colvin. So that's like their children. And this tells you all the people that have been adding on to this record. Look at all these people. October 25th, 2024, just last year, a relationship was added. So you can also see like the people that have been building on these records. So you can find out a lot of information, you guys. Like there's people working on your ancestral records and like you're not even aware. And then there's like more stuff about Charlie Williams. This is like in Illinois. So like, you know, you just keep on going deeper. You just take the clues and you keep on going deeper. But the main thing is like you're trying to find the parent and you're trying to go deeper into the ancestry. So you would be looking for Charlie's mom and dad. Okay. And then you can just keep going there. And then when you find their names like Charlie Williams, I would go into search and I would put Charlie Williams and then see all the records that come up for Charlie Williams. Okay, so that's how you do it. You're building on the details that you find out. Okay. Okay, so next, Marion Turner. Okay, Marion Turner. Okay, let's go to Marion Turner. Marion Turner. Memphis. Oh, Memphis in the house. This is Egypt, Memphis, Egypt. Let's see what's going on in Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Look, United Kingdom's coming up again, but this says Ethel Marion Turner, but still. England's coming up. Look, immigration, Marion Turner, New York, New York. He was on a passenger, he was on a boat. Somebody named Marion Turner. Immigration, once again, New York. So he's definitely, this is given bloodline lineage from overseas, because there's too much immigration coming up under this name. Because it's just about the name, like the name in general. Like Marion Turner is connected to this immigration energy. So there was an immigration. Oh, wait, this is a female. No, so that's not. No. Because you said it's your grandfather, right? Okay, so it's a grandfather. So it's not Marion Turner, the immigration one. That was for a female. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let's see if Memphis, Tennessee comes up. So a lot of United Kingdom stuff, though. It's a lot of England stuff. Marion Turner, Yorkshire, England. But it's a female, though. It's a female. And this is your grandfather. Marion Turner, Christchurch, Middlesex. Marion Consby Turner, Stoke, London, England. Marriott Road, burial, September 11th, 1890. Birth year, 1865. Do you know his middle name? England. There's a lot of stuff around the UK coming up just around this name, though. So I would say there would be some type of connection there, regardless of the fact, because the name, if the name is coming up around a lot dealing with that location, then that means that that name goes back to the United Kingdom. That's what that means. Because look, there's too many United Kingdom stuff coming up, like way too much. In England, death and burials. Because we know that, like with a lot of the places in the South, they came over from Europe. They came over from Europe, right? So when we're talking about the Moors, we're talking a lot about the Moors. We know that the Moors came over from Europe, right? So that's why a lot of these names are tied in with England. Look at all this. It's nothing but the United Kingdom coming up. And I put Memphis, Tennessee in there. So we got Philadelphia here. Philadelphia, still tied with England. The principal is in England. You got tax assessment. Jamaica. But I wonder why Memphis isn't coming up, though. Do you know his middle name? Marion Turner. New York. Yeah, it's just mainly, okay, we got Philadelphia. And this is a tax assessment. So let me see what this is. It's a tax assessment. Miscellaneous records, Philadelphia. It's just a tax assessment. Marion Street, house number 39. I also find that interesting on a lot of these records. A lot of them have a house number, and it'll just be like a number, like just 22, house number 18. Like what? I know that can mean like apartment number, but like the way that it's listed, it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it means something else. Manchester Township. So that's interesting because nothing's coming up with Memphis unless I just didn't put it in there right, but I think I did. It's just stuff coming up around the UK. Do you know anything about? I know. That's why I said Memphis is where all the deep black royalty is. Oh, they're the first people here from the UK. Oh, I knew it. The hidden black royalty. I knew it. Oh, Mary and Frederick. Okay, now we're gonna get it now. Now we gonna get them now. Okay, let's see. Marion. They be playing hide and seek. I'm telling you. Like they be playing hide and seek. Okay. Marion Frederick. Let's go to search records. Okay, now we got it. Marion Frederick. Let's get him on the docket because clearly Turner Sr. Okay. Okay, let me just search this real quick because this is very specific. Fred Marion Turner Jr. Marion Fred Turner Sr., South Carolina. Do you know around what time, what year he was born? Marion Fred Turner Jr., South Carolina. Texas. Fred Marion. But sometimes they mix like the first name and the middle name. So that can happen. Freddie Jack Turner, Mississippi, Meridian. That's where one of my ancestors are from. Meridian, Mississippi. 1942, baby. That's 1942, Don Julio. Let me try one more thing. Memphis. I don't know why this is missing. Okay. Let's try this. Oh, boom. I think we found it. Did he die around 1977? Oh, Hollywood Cemetery? Hollywood? Did he pass around 1977? Well, this is him then. And it got his grave. He's in the Hollywood Cemetery. What did I tell you guys about Hollywood earlier? What did I tell you guys about Hollywood? And look, confirmation right here. The Hollywood Cemetery. He's famous. What in the world? Because see, like I go beyond, like I don't look at things the way that people look at things. Like I see beyond like the surface level of what it's trying to say. Like Hollywood Cemetery, that's symbolic right there. And look, there's something written up here about him. Self-employed construction worker. Died yesterday, Methodist Hospital South Victory Funeral Home. Has charge. He was a member of the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ of the Apostolic Faith. Okay, was his wife's name Mary Turner? Wow. So he was famous because they wrote something about him. Memphis. 253 Hollywood Cemetery. 6:9 p.m. The final tribute to Hollywood Cemetery, May 1st. Arrangement Victory funeral. That's deep. Dang. Sorry, I didn't share it. But yeah, so find a grave. That's like what's going to come up a lot when, to have burial records. It'll find a grave is one of them. But like the other one I hadn't seen before, the billionaire graves, I had never seen that. But find a grave, that's the one that usually comes up a lot. Okay, so they got all kinds of stuff written up. Okay, age 52. And you guys want to make sure you're checking that date of birth and checking that cardology too. You want to make sure you're checking that cardology if you get their birthday. Okay. That's your grandma. Girl, stop. Yeah, they got clout. They got a whole bunch of stuff written up about them. Wow. Yep. Got this whole thing written up in the newspaper in the Hollywood Cemetery in Memphis, Tennessee. There you go. And you know how they've been talking about Hollywood and Memphis, how that's where they get all their sauce from. They said they get all their sauce from like Memphis. Like that's why Memphis is so big in the music industry, like Glorilla and all of that. That's because a lot of the music comes from Memphis because Mem is water in Hebrew. So Mem is the letter for water in Hebrew. So it's about the waters. Memphis is the waters, like the divine waters and such. So there's a lot of creativity that comes out of Memphis and music in general, right? So you may have as inheritance, Anika, you may have a lot of talent, like, passed down, obviously Hollywood, right? So yeah. And then like, your grandmother's name, all that stuff, go in the search and look her up and then try to find their parents also, right? So Memphis birth. So this might also be birth October 1st, 1927. That is the Eight of Diamonds. I know that just off the top of my head. So yeah. Other people on this record unknown. What? Oh, Mary E. Turner. Yeah, this is it. Is it still sharing? Oh, my bad, y'all. Hold on. Yeah. So, yo, this is deep, you guys. Like, this is really deep. I'm kind of getting chills. This is very deep. Look, name unknown. For some reason, like, that just gives me chills. Like, yo, this is for Mary. So yeah, this is the birth date. Alias, Marion F. Turner. Second residence. So yeah, it'll show you like where they lived and all that stuff. Household identifier. So yeah, you would just want to save this entire record, okay? So like I said, birth date October 1st, that's the Eight of Diamonds. And all that good stuff, okay? Yeah, your grandma. That's so cool. Yes, the hidden Black royalty. There you go. Okay, who else? I'm gonna do one more. Okay, Warren Isaac Matson. Okay, let's do it. Warren Isaac Matson. Dang, because I had never looked up anybody else's before. So I'm kind of like, I'm seeing things differently now. Because I've only been used to looking up my ancestor stuff. So I'm only used to seeing things like from that perspective. But I'm not used to seeing things from like other people's records. So anyway, where's the other one? Warren Isaac Matson. Okay. Dang, y'all. All right, let's see. So we got California. We got. Okay, so I don't know the location. Oh, Junior. Didn't you say Junior? This one's in Alabama. Yeah, I think you said Junior, so this might be him. Yeah. Oh, Senior. Oh, so this must be the son then. Let's see. Yeah, because I like figuring things out. Like, I think that's why I like doing Ancestry, because you guys know I'm like a what do they call it? I'm a detective. Yeah, I'm a detective. So I guess that's why my family is like part of the police jury precinct. Precinct, right? Because detectives are at the precinct. So I think that's why I like doing this, because I like cracking like mysteries, like, you know. I like figuring stuff out. So this is Warren Matson Jr. So you're looking for senior, but I think we found junior. Look, and it says other people on this record unknown. Something is up with the unknown. Like something is up with it. Because I've never seen that before where it says unknown. What? California. So they also lived in California, Birmingham, Alabama. Are they still on the line? Oh, senior. Okay, yeah, that may be my father. He lived in Alabama. Oh, yeah, it probably is. Let me see if the parent. Let me see. Junior. It only got junior. Like usually it'll have over here on the right, it'll have like their family members. But let me just go back really quick. Let me see if I can find Warren Matson Jr. Are they connected with Illinois at all? Washington. Where St. Louis, Missouri. Robert Warren Matson. Oh yeah. Okay. What city did he live in? Oh, that's your dad? Yeah, Bakersfield. Yeah, it did come up. Bakersfield. Yeah. What about here? Warren Matson, St. Quinn, California. But birth is 1951. Does that seem around the time frame? Warren Matson. Junior. Oh, Isaac. Yeah. I is the middle name. United States residents. What? Look at all the aliases. Yo, that's wild. Second alias, third alias, fourth alias, fifth alias. So yeah, 7 aliases. And look at all these residents. I've never seen this before. This is like really blowing my mind because my ancestral records, I've never seen it listed like this. Look at all these residences. Decatur, so he was all in the South too. Alabama, he was a traveler. Dang, yeah, Bakersfield. This is it right here. So yeah, you would want to go ahead and save this record, the database, Decatur. Yep, it has all their residences, but I've never seen it all on one record before. So that's interesting. Warren, that's it. Yeah, the military. Yeah. So that is the one right there. Social. Yeah, so if the middle name is I, and that's interesting. Warren Heaven Matson. Warren Matson. That's a pretty popular name. There's a lot of this name. Washington, and like almost in every state too. That's interesting. Room. Oh yeah, they have marriage, like a lot of marriage certificates too on here that you can find. So like marriage certificates, I always like to keep those as well, just to confirm that they was married and such. So like usually they'll have their marriage certificate on here. And then you can save that as well. Okay. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to show you guys that this is just like briefly kind of to start you guys, spark your guys' interest, and just go down the line, you guys. Go down the line, each and every person that you know of in your bloodline, and do a quick search, and then like just keep going deeper. Like the more details that you get, just keep going deeper into that, okay? And by the last names. And like I said, do not forget your granny's last name. It's not just your grandpa's last name, but your granny's last name. And just get into the business of saving the records, you guys, getting as much paperwork as possible, because I think this paperwork is going to be important in the future. You're going to have some type of record to prove it. Okay, and before the internet goes down, because we don't know, they talking about there's gonna be a blackout and all this other stuff happening. So you want to get downloaded on your computer, on your devices, on your hard drive, so that you have a copy of it in case you need to show proof. Okay, and so yeah, and so with the next, you're welcome. The next live that I'm gonna do on here, we are gonna go back to the stock market, because I know a lot of you guys are like interested in what's going on there. There's been a lot of changes with that too. Crypto, they just did something big with crypto. They just like approved something. I gotta research it a little bit more, but there was just a major breakthrough with cryptocurrency. So I think we need to get back on that bandwagon. Okay. Yeah. Marcella said they want you to connect with them offline as well, so they can tell you where to look. Okay. Connect with the ancestor and get you some ancestor money. Okay. But what I did find out when I was researching the UK was that the stock market, come to find out, is connected with the UK Treasury. And I didn't know this before, but there is a connection between the two. So now we got to connect the dots there as well, because we know that the stock market is not just a stock market. Like, it is deeper than that. You know, a lot of people say like we're being, our social security numbers are being traded on there and all this other stuff, right? So this is why it's important for you to know your ancestry, to know all of this stuff and to know all their information, because like, what if they are being traded on the stock market and we don't even know? Like, I'm telling you guys, it's some stuff going on that we're not fully aware of. So I'm going to be connecting the dots there as well with the stock exchange and all of that, because we know that stocks, like when we take it back to like the land, because stocks really has to deal with like the land, like how much livestock you have, right? Livestock is like the animals that you have on your farm, right? So it does have to deal with the land. So there's a connection there. Well, they're putting it all digital now, but it wasn't always digital. It had to deal with the actual land, okay? Land stocks and land patents and farms and farming. That's why on Wall Street, they got them bulls everywhere in the financial district, okay? So, hey, Infinite Love. So yeah, so we're gonna do a part 2, and then we're gonna tie in this stock market thing, because I think they're doing something with the stock market. And honey, who knows? They can have our ancestors on there. We don't know nothing about it. Somebody got our money, okay? Somebody has our money, and we need to get it back, but we need to get the information. They're doing something with it. Okay, that's why I'm showing you guys this ancestry stuff, because it's something going on here. My spidey senses are going off. So so yeah, you guys, thanks for coming. Our status, Amika. Yeah, I think it does matter. It does. But we gotta go above, because the reason why people are hitting the ceiling, like when it comes to the United States, because we got to go above. It's not the United States. That's what I realized. It's above them now. So we got to go higher than them. So, but yeah, I know they talk a lot about like correcting our status and stuff like that. And that's why when it comes to the moors and mooring, that's like another thing that we got to break down that as well, because the moors and the waters and these ships and stuff like that, and the transatlantic slave trade and all this other stuff has to deal with the waters and the mooring and the currency, and there's a connection between all of it, okay? Which is why I think all this water stuff is coming up. Jupiter's in Cancer. This has to deal with the moors. It has to deal with the waters. It has to deal with the womb. It has to deal with all that. So we're going to be connecting the dots there as well. So thank you for bringing that up. Let me just write some notes. Stock market, ancestors. These ships is something too, you guys. The royal ships and the shipping. Like when you go from one landmass to another and you have cargo on your ship, there's something with that as well. We got the birth certificates. We need to get into that as well. Birth certificates. There's something afoot there as well. The moors, the stock market, the ancestors, the ships. Yeah. Siren royalty. Okay. Siren royalty. Okay. So that too, kind of like a mermaid type of energy. Oh yeah, and the treasury. Woo, child, I got to finish with that too, because that's a big one. The treasury. Okay, and pirating. Pirating. And y'all, I think, you know when it's going to all click? When Saturn goes back into Pisces. Saturn goes into Pisces September 1st. That's when it's all going to click into place because Jupiter is going to be in Cancers and Saturn is going to be in Pisces, y'all. That's when the currency is coming. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? And we have a Pisces eclipse in September. That's when it's coming in. Okay. So, okay. I got a lot to put together for the next live. We're going to do another live. And we're going to address these things here. Okay. We're ahead of the game. Okay. We way ahead. We in the future, like I always say, y'all. Now watch what happened after this. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff going on in the news, all types of crazy stuff. Okay, guys. So everyone have a good night. Thank you guys for joining me. I learned a lot from you guys as usual because we exchange information. So like, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for allowing me to use you guys as examples, looking up your ancestors and things like that. I really appreciate that. And of course, I enjoyed tonight's live. So thank you guys. If you're watching, the playback or you came in later, the beginning of the live, I had to take an intermission because Mercury retrograde had me effed up. But we got it right. So like after like 10 minutes of the live, everything is peaches and cream. Everything is good. Yeah, y'all, I hope you guys have a good night. And I will be seeing you guys soon. All right, bye.